Start streaming. Let's go live. Oh, you know what? I am not hardlined in. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I'm not hardlined in, so we might have a few hiccups this week. How's everybody doing out there in fantasy land? Me? I'm doing all right. I'm doing just fine. Hope you guys are doing great. Just sharing the link, letting you all know that I'm live. Good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Finally, we are back. It is week 8, and it's Monday. It's kind of late. It's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Recap. Let's roll those highlights. We're going to go right into those highlights because, man, oh man, it was another wonderful, fantastic football. And that is not the right league. But I finally got a win in that one. 1-7 in that league. But I am 6-2 in this one because, it was a close one. It came down to the wire. You see the final score there. 154 to 152. I stopped Johnny in his tracks. He had won 2 games in a row. I rebound after last week's loss, and I get the win. 154 to 152. Both of us, we both. Oh, no, there was one other team that scored more points than me and Johnny. But we keep the high scores going. And, man, just look at Johnny's team. I'm a little worried going into the future for people that are going to play against him because look at the points he's putting up. He had Kamara. There were 42 points and 35 from Henry. And then if you go down on his bench, you'll also see he has, so here's his running backs. And granted, Jacobs had an off week, but he's usually going to do a lot better than he did this past game. But 42 for Kamara, 35 from Henry. And then if you have Jacobs scoring, I think these are like 20 point a week easily running backs that you're having. That you're going to have averaged out. So Johnny's got a good team stacked up going late into the season. Going for that late season push once again. So watch out for Johnny. He's coming for us once again, draft day losers. But I get the win, 154, 21 points from Jackson, 22 from Cup. I only have one player score more than 30 points, and that was Foreman coming up big for me, 31 points. Without him, definitely would have lost this one. But my players all around did really well. Johnny just was, he had he was stacking them up. What hurt him the most was McPherson at his kicking position. They only had 1 point. And you also see 7 for Smith, 7 from Jacobs, and then Hurst had 8. He almost hit his projection, but this didn't happen. But I get the win, moving to 6-2, final score. Going on to game 2, Alex's Demogorgons taking on Chris's Juju on the beat, and you see the final score there. Alex drops to 5-3. Chris is going to improve to 5-3 as well. 166 to 101. That's a blowout, and it's hard to get a blowout when you score more than 100 points. But yeah, there you go. Chris shows up, 166, big time points for him. You see Burrow there were 14, 33 for Hopkins, 39 from Brown, 19 from Jones, 14 from Pierce, 10 from Suckup, and 14 from the Philadelphia defense. Alex had an all-around decent game, just did not get the players to show up for him. Sutton only had 2. And I believe 5 only from the Jacksonville defense, and you had a pretty empty bench. You're going to be fully stacked going back into next week. Well, past all those buys, you're going to be starting that Kansas City defense. You're going to be starting Mahomes, and you're going to be starting Edwards-Helaire. You got no, you don't have an open roster position there. I believe you're fully stacked there. But congratulations to Chris on getting that one, 166 final score. Moving on to game 3, Big Dak Energy finally shows up, finally starts his players, and beats Brandon Sarton's son 123 to 92, and a 30-point blowout there. You see Kirk Cousins. Actually, no, you didn't play your players. Gosh, look at this. You had 123 points with 2 of your wide receivers not playing, Davis not playing, and Thomas still not playing. But you got 40 points from McCaffrey coming out of nowhere, 15 from Barkley, 13 from Mertz. You just lucked out, and Brandon just had bad luck all just in general. Actually, though, looking at Brandon too, he did not. He had 2 players also on a bye. Yeah, look at that, Joe. Look at this horrible game with 2 people playing. Jeremy going against Brandon, both teams not starting players. Brandon had Carlson in as his kicker, but they got zeroed out, so he had 0 points from his kicker. But Pacheco, no game. Everett, no game. They left him on the bye, so whatever. Nobody deserved to win in this game, but Jeremy gets the win, improves to 3-5 somehow. Going to game 4. Blackbeard's Delight with 155 points this week. That's a big point output total for the second highest output there this week. Beating Bravo's football. Freddie's going to improve to 5-3. And what's up, Freddie? Talking about you. That's right. You're moving up 5-3 with a big win against Bravo, 155 to 107. Taking out Bravo. We're all happy about that. Geno Smith with 19, 31 from Tyreek Hill there. Godwin with 13, 25 from Chubb. Big points for Chubb on Monday. You didn't need it, but you got the win. You got the Cleveland backfield there. You got Chubb and Hunt. Boom. You got 36 points right there. You got Kyle Pitts in as your tight end position. Unleash Pitts, 19 points. Good job there. Ayuk, 20 points. 11 from Jacoby Myers. Sorry, not Jacoby Myers, but just Myers in general, the kicker from Seattle. And 5 points from your defense. Who did you leave on the bench? You had a stacked week for you, Freddie. You would have won regardless. What's up, Chris? Nice to see chat popping off tonight. Chris talked about you a little while earlier. You got the big win against Alice. Congratulations. Boom. Moving on to game 5. Hi Guy taking on Najee by nature. And looks like Luis is also going to improve to 5-3. Taking out Brian there, 124, then 94, another 30-point blowout there. Not really that much to talk about here. You got 33 points from Pollard. There was pretty much what sealed the deal for you, Luis. That 33 points being the big difference maker there. Jefferson with 15 in your flex position. You got 16 from DeVarnay and 8 from Johnson. Tom Brady with 17. Keep starting Brady. You never know when he's going to pop off. But who did you leave on the bench? Nobody in particular. Just a low-scoring game for Brian. Maybe he can bounce back next week. And saving, I guess, Joe for last here. Joe taking on Martha's. Dude looks like a Brady beating Sacks in the City. Martha no longer in. We'll take a look here. But she drops to 6-2 by 2 points. Not a particularly high scoring game, but it was close. Let's see what the difference maker there was for Joe. You see 23 points in his quarterback position there. 30 points for Waddle. That's what sealed the deal for Joe. 18 from Judy. 7 from Mostert. Sanders at 13. Your tight end is just a weird position this year. I hate it. I really hate it. The last 2 years in tight end's been so bad. 12 in your flex. And you got Gold there with 7. 1 point from the Miami defense. Almost ruined you there. But you had the Chargers on bye. So you really only had one other player that you could have played. Wow. Martha just could not get it going this week. Jalen Hurts at 28 points. I mean, she had 115 points. Usually that's okay. You got Cook there with 25. Lamb at 18. 12 for Pittman. I'm pretty sure she is also a Cowboys fan. And not to point out another kicker while she's down, but she loses 117 and 115. Big win for Joe. Congratulations, moving to 3-5. Enough scores and highlights, right, guys? It was a squeaker, Chris. It was a squeaker. 2 points. 2-point win for Joe. 2-point win for me. A couple of real close games this week. A couple of them. Enough scores and highlights, right? Let's hand out some week 8 awards. And what happened this week? And honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, the lowest scoring team had above 90 points. And really, what happened, Brandon? What happened? You had a chance to beat. You had a chance to beat Jeremy this week. And I don't know. Actually, maybe you didn't have a chance. It's just because Jeremy's McCaffrey popped off. He had 34 pass yards with a pass touchdown. That's insane. 94 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 8 receptions. So you got 8 points there with the point per reception, 55 reception yards, and 1 reception touchdown. Dude did it all this week. It was insane. I don't know what was going on with McCaffrey, but they finally. I'm just glad he didn't get hurt because I have him in another league. But I don't know if I don't know if Brandon would have played his entire team. I don't. Still, he would not have won. I mean, the points are not there. He still would have lost. Jeremy had Higgins on the bench, and he would have had an additional 13 had he swapped them. And I was half tempted. I was half tempted to sit all of Jeremy's team, but I was like, no, it's benefit of doubt. Oh, whatever. You know, I should have sat him. I don't know. But Brandon didn't play his team either. So what difference does it make? I should have benched both teams and had them both. I should have benched both teams. But to my knowledge, Brandon was playing. So I don't know what happened. All right. So, yeah, Brandon gets the WTF what happened this week. And Player of the Week honors is going to go to Chris for 166 points. Chris, how many is that this season that you've gotten? 166. Big points for you. Yeah, so enough of those. Let's take a live look at the standings as we are. And bam, man, I am there in the first at 6-2, based on points. Martha there right behind me at 6-2. You got Freddie in third. Congratulations, Freddie. You got Chris in fourth. You got Luis in fifth somehow. Alex is still there in fifth. Najee by nature there in seventh. And Joe rounding out the top eight, moving up from 10th to 8th. Congratulations, Joe. Joe's in the top 8 at 3 and 5 based on points. You got Jeremy at 9, Bravo at 10, Draft Day Loser drops back to 11th, and Brandon also at 2 and 6 in 12th place. So yeah, how'd that go for everybody? How'd everybody else do in chat? You're back in the playoff picture, Joe. Congratulations on that. Let's take a look at Pick'ems while we're at it. Oh, and I apologize for blinding everybody's eyes because dark mode does not work in Pick'ems. Whoa. I moved to first place. Tonight's game has not gone live recording it, so I'm not sure. But me and Ain't Nothing But a Pick'em thing. Let's see who I picked. And I'm pretty sure I picked the Bengals to win. I did, so I'm going to be wrong on that. Who did Chris? You're Ain't Nothing But Pick'em thing, right? Is that you, Chris? How come I can't see Chris's? I'm tapping on the screen. Anyway, so you got Ain't Nothing But a Pick'em thing at 77 as well, based on points. I guess I'm winning. Basket, my picks right there at 66. Football, 58 picks, correct? 58 points. 41 points for Sin NFL picks. Joe also at 41, and Luis still forgetting to make picks at 12. He's 7th out of 7th. A lot of people playing this week or this year. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we've been doing all right. And Chris, yeah. So who did you pick, Chris? Did you pick Cleveland or did you pick Cincinnati to win this week? I picked Cincinnati. So if you pick Cleveland, then you're going to be in first place. But I wasn't able to take a look at who you picked, who you got. There's Priscilla popping in. I'm sorry, I moved this over the chat. What's up, Pris? How are you today? Moving over to the big screen. What did everybody dress up as? Did everybody have a good Halloween? Chris, you didn't say who you picked. Just waiting. You picked Cincinnati too, so we both got that wrong. So I will be technically in first, even though we got the same amount of points. I don't know how that's working. Maybe it's just because we're tied. We should be tied. Chris, who would you pick? Cincinnati or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Well, congratulations. So Cleveland won tonight. So you would have got that right.
Cool.
Yeah. It's been a long day. And Pris, do you have any? Martha lost this week.
She's gonna come up.
Yeah, she lost to Joe this week.
She's gonna come back up next week.
I'm not sure if everybody can hear you. My mother.
She's gonna make a comeback. Is what I said.
You think she's gonna make a comeback?
Yes.
Let's go to week 9 pick matchups here. We're gonna take a look at those real quick. Let me switch back to my highlights here. Bam. All right. So I'm gonna be taking on Brian's Najee by nature. You can really see it right there. Luis is gonna take it. You see Luis's high guy taking on Alex's Demigorgons. Freddie's Blackbeard's Delight taking on Jeremy's Big Dak Energy. Johnny's Draft Day Losers taking on Martha's Sacks in the City. So this is Martha's chance to redeem herself. She's going to be taking on Johnny. Johnny looking to recoup after this week's loss. Bravo's Football taking on Chris right there. Juju on the beat. And Brandon Sarton's son taking on Joe's dude. Looks like a Brady. Right now, Joe is looking like he's going to take a hurting this week.
I don't know if I should eat a donut or if I should eat some...
Question of the night before we wrap up the show.
Okay.
Should Priscilla eat a fun-sized payday, or should she go ahead and eat a donut? It is Halloween. We're going crazy. We're having a good time. I want to thank everybody who popped in chat. Look at this wonderful chat interaction I had.
You went
Look
to
at
Target
that.
and you didn't buy yourself a new.
I went to Target and I went to go buy. I actually did. I looked for a new screen protector for my watch, and they did not have any. So that was a bummer. I should have bought some like 2 weeks ago when I was there. They had a different brand, but I wasn't very comfortable getting the brand. It's Halloween. Eat both. That's what Chris says.
Ugh,
Eat
that's
both.
too much.
Flip a coin. I already. Was it the kids or was that that? I think the cats are fighting outside. There's something going on outside. Is somebody yelling outside? That's a cat. I guarantee you that's a cat. That's a cat. We got some cats fighting or banging outside. It sounds horrible. In the front, yeah.
Is it your cat?
I hope it's. I don't have a cat, but the cat that I like, I hope it's not. Everybody, come on to a wonderful show. I hope everybody had a good time tonight.
Eat both.
Chris said to eat both, right there, Chris. Priscilla dressed as a Trader Joe's employee. I was nothing. I didn't have a costume. Ezra was a velociraptor and Noah was a doctor. It was fun. Getting there. So all right, guys. So I'm gonna wrap up the show this week. It was a lot of fun having you all pop in for just a little bit. And on that note, guys, Pris, you want to say it?
I'm lost.
Set those teams.
Pick
those picks. And we'll see you guys right here next week
on the recap.
Good night and happy Halloween.